Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome to Podcast of the Paranormal.
Well, almost Christmas, right?
Yeah, almost Christmas, but...
So our first annual Christmas episode?
It is our first Christmas episode, and we have something special in store for you.
I think this one's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this.
So what do we got going on?
We are bringing you Christmas folklore.
There's nothing jolly in this episode.
You want to jump right in?
Let's do it.
All right. Do you want to start?
I think you should start.
You want me to start?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Bear with us while we try to pronounce these names
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
that are not in our native tongue.
No.
So please be kind. We will do our best. And please feel free to correct us if you have additional information or if we got something wrong or if you know the proper pronunciation. We should put a disclaimer in this episode that it's not for children. So if you're listening to this episode with your children, now is probably a good time to either stop the episode or have your children leave the room. St. Nicholas is where we're going to start. While St. Nicholas is a actual person who existed in history, and sometimes he is considered to be Santa Claus, but for this time being right now, we will talk of St. Nicholas. 3 children, they were in a field, they lost track of time, and they began to wander into town to a local butcher shop. They saw the lights on, so they knocked to ask for food and a place to sleep. The butcher allows them in, he kills the children, and he butchers them. He puts the children in a brine. He planned to sell them as ham and serve them to the townspeople. St. Nicholas learns of this, and he demands that the butcher opens the barrel. The butcher opens the barrel, St. Nicholas makes the sign of the cross over the barrel, and he commands that the slain children rise. Their bodies are repaired, the children are brought back to life. So that is a legend that is associated with St. Nicholas.
Sounds like Catholic necromancy.
Right?
Christian necromancy.
It's really
anyway.
interesting. So for those who don't know, St. Nicholas is associated with Turkey.
Okay.
So that's the region where you will find this legend. It's called St. Nicholas and the Butchered Children. And then some of the legends, like there's always variations, right, to all the legends. So some variations say that the butcher was then forced to work with St. Nicholas for the rest of his life as penance.
Ooh, that's his punishment, huh?
Yeah, and you'll see that too throughout, like a few of the people that we talk about. You'll see that they're associated as working with St. Nicholas. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like the light and the positive, whereas they're like the more like sinister side of Christmas. Who do we have next?
Krampus. So Krampus originates in Bavaria, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, and northern Italy. The story goes back to the 16th century. The Nazis, however, banned him. Once they were defunct, Krampus returned. So it's pretty interesting that, you had a fascist regime come in, right? Decide, you know what? We're going to hide all this stuff, which is kind of weird because the Nazis, they were kind of like occultists. So it's odd that they would ban Krampus, right?
Yeah, it's a odd combination.
Yeah. Krampus makes a comeback after the Nazis are gone. Krampus is said to travel in herds. He's a fearsome, large, furry demon with horns. He has a sack on his back and usually carries a bundle of birch branches, which he uses to punish children with. He might not be the oldest horned god, but he is one of the more known.
Yeah, I feel like everyone knows Krampus.
Yeah, it's a modern kind of like pop culture thing, I think.
Yeah,
at this point.
It's pop culture. I feel like a lot of people might not know some of the figures here, but most people will know Krampus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Krampus accompanies St. Nicholas, and he even has his own night, December 5th, Krampusnacht. That is when he is most active. His role is to punish sinners, especially children. He chases them with birch branches and basically forces them into a sack to carry away.
He might even, I think, whip them with the branches.
Yeah, he does. He whips them with the branches, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a story that's designed to scare children, to get them to behave around the holidays,
As you'll see with most of these.
I would imagine people are going out in the 16th century taking their kids to church.
Yeah.
They want them to behave. Plus, it's a really horrible time anyway where kids are meant to be seen but not heard.
Yeah, true.
They're teaching the kids that they'll be punished.
For misbehaving.
So yeah, like I said, he's become a cultural icon. Really big in pop culture these days.
He is.
You got movies about Krampus.
You could even go to a lot of places, go and get your picture taken with Krampus, like you could with Santa. Yeah.
One of these years we got to get to Krampusnacht.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Because we do them in Pennsylvania again now.
Yeah.
So
it would be so much fun.
Down Lancaster down that way, I believe.
I think in the southern part.
We're going to have to do some research, and we're going to have to hit that up one of these years.
Yeah, we should. It would be fun.
So, Gabrielle, let me turn over the next one to you.
Next, we have Frau Perchta, sometimes referred to as the wife of Krampus. I've seen this in some legends. From Austria and Bavaria. She may have been considered a goddess in pre-Christian times. We first see her mentioned in 1200 AD. She is considered a fearsome winter witch, and she even has a nickname. It's the Belly Slitter. She resembles your classic archetype of the crone. She has a cane, dressed in rags. She's old and wrinkly. Sometimes, in some versions, you'll even see her with an iron beak, which I think is kind of cool.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Are we talking like the medieval doctor's mask sort of thing? Or
like an iron beak, like a bird, but it's iron.
Oh, literally just a beak fashioned out of iron. Wow, that's cool.
So she has a legend that is associated with her. You need to have all of your wool or your flax would have had to be spun and ready to weave by January 6th, or she would come for a nasty visit. She might come and set fire to any of the fibers you haven't spun yet, and you better have tidied up and left out a bowl of porridge for her, because if you forget to, she might fly into a rage, she'll burst into your bedroom, she will disembowel you, and then fill your abdomen with hay and rocks. It's also said that she might actually ride with a wild hunt, and she is also associated with the Thursdays that come before Christmas. So like in the month of December, all the Thursdays are kind of her day, and all of early January. So you're looking at every Thursday and then early January up to the 6th when she kind of is saying like, this is when you need to have your chores done by. Mm-hmm. And that's also common. A lot of these things are like around chores that need to be done. They're really interesting.
Is she geared towards children? Like punishing children?
And adults.
It seems more adult, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, which is interesting because she's referred to as...
the wife of Krampus?
Yeah. So she's like his counterpart, right?
Right.
Let Daddy Krampus deal with the children. She'll deal with everybody else.
Yeah, she doesn't mess around. She seems pretty strict. When I was researching for these, I thought she was going to be like one of my favorites. But then we got farther down the list and I found someone else. I mean, the Yule Cat is my favorite. The Yule Cat, the Yule Cat's family, they're all my favorite. I just really love that story, how they're literally a family and they all are like folkloric.
Well, that's great because when we get there, you're going to kick that one off then.
If you want.
No, that's you. That's all you.
Okay.
So who do we have next here? Belsnickel. Any Office fans here? I'm not sure how well the show did justice to Belsnickel, but anyway, he comes from Europe, Germany, France, Switzerland, and he traveled to PA with the Pennsylvania Dutch. He originated in southwest Germany, around the Rhine River, and he travels alone.
Which I think is interesting because I think when you see him, his like visual presentation is very comparable to Krampus.
Oh, yeah.
At least in my mind.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
But Krampus will travel with St. Nicholas, and Krampus travels in herds, so you'll see multiple Krampus together. But then Belsnickel is alone.
And he does carry a branch of sorts, right?
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting.
And all the depictions of him, he looks like basically a bearded, older man.
Yeah.
The name refers to the furs he wears, which are called bells, and the connection to St. Nicholas, nickel. He wears rags, women's clothing, and even at times antlers. He's a wild man.
In a way.
Sometimes he's called the Christmas woman. That's really interesting to me. This is new to me, the whole wearing women's clothing and being referred to as the Christmas woman. Maybe wearing a mask with a grotesque long tongue, again, similar to Krampus.
Yeah.
He shows up a week or two before Christmas, rewards good children, and punishes the bad. So again, this is Krampus. He's also almost like Santa and Krampus in one, where he rewards you if you're good and punishes you if you're bad. That makes sense. It's funny because when you read through these, you see all the lore that you're brought up with as a child with Santa. This all fits. Right. You know what I mean? It's like all this folklore. You know already. Right. You just don't know these names and characters, you know? Right. His pockets are filled with candy, nuts, and cakes. He also has a switch to administer beatings. So there it is. He will rap on the window with the switch, and when a child answers, he will ask them to sing. If he enjoys it, he will throw them candy. If they are too quick to grab the candy, they get the switch. And it kind of like reminds me like weirdly enough, of almost like Halloween. You know what I mean?
Trick or treat.
Yeah, exactly. He will ask the children about their chores. If they have not been completed, they will get the switch. He appears to give children time to improve their behaviors prior to the holiday. In Pennsylvania, this character is known as Pelsnickel. In Maryland, he's known as Belschnickel. And I think that's the pronunciation, right, that the white shirt uses in the office.
I think.
I believe there's the sh in there, right?
Yeah.
The schnickel. This ended in the end of the 19th century for more American-style celebrations. They are trying to revive the tradition, typically among German societies.
And I like, too, that he kind of is coming early in the Christmas season. And if you're bad, you have time to
make up for it, to atone,
to change your behaviors. And
let's say what it is. It's all control. It is. It's just like religion or anything else. Folklore is used to teach a lesson or to control groups of people, children, you know what I mean?
Right, right. Next, we have Gryla. She is the mom of the Yule Lads. She is traditionally from Iceland. She is an ogress who we see first mentioned in the 13th century. She could have oral traditions that go back even further than this. She is huge and repulsive. She has multiple heads with eyes on the back. She might even have a beard, tail, or fangs. Her description does vary by reports as well, so there's a few of those in here. Sometimes she's with her husband, Lepalui. He is actually her third husband. So she ate her first husband, Guster, and then she killed her second husband, Boli. But her husband is considered not to be as malevolent as she is, so that's why they say he might have survived this long. But Gryla's always hungry, she's always looking for fresh meat, and she loves naughty children.
Now, is she also considered a troll? I believe I read that they refer to her as a troll.
They might. I mean, she has various reports of how she looks, how she acts. So it would make sense that some people might say she's a troll, some might say she's an ogre, some might call her a witch.
Yep. And it's Icelandic too, so it's like the picture I get in my head is like that the Nordic trolls. You know what I mean? Like that's what I get with the big, like either the beak or some of them literally look like they have a bird beak. Or like the long nose, you know what I mean? Those Nordic trolls. So yeah, that's really cool. It's a really cool Christmas character there.
Yeah,
is that what we're calling them? I keep saying that. It sounds wrong. Christmas characters? We're just gonna stick with folklore figure. Yeah, that's what we're sticking with.
So Gryla disguises herself as an old beggar, and she'll ask parents if she can take their badly behaved children to correct them. She then takes them back to her lair, and she devours them.
Oh, she does.
She once lived in the village at a time, but she was driven out and into a cave. And during the holidays, she becomes extra hungry. So she seeks out naughty children to put in her sack and drag them back to her home. Children had to behave all year long to be free of her wrath. She knew if the children were good or if they were just acting during the holidays to kind of avoid this fate that might befall them. Again, her children, they are the Yule Lads, and they also have a house pet. It's the Yule cat. Her husband, he doesn't have any interest in going out to seek naughty children. He's content staying at home. And some say that they died centuries ago because there weren't enough naughty children to keep them fed.
And again, she's throwing the naughty children in a sack. I see a pattern here.
Right. I mean, I'm sure, too, there's only so many ways that you can take naughty children back to your house.
That's the best mode of transportation they had back then.
For naughty children.
Man, didn't they have like carriages or anything like that? Like a cage and a carriage?
I don't know. Who do we have next, Jody?
Well, I'm going to leave this one up to you.
Again?
Yeah, you have to. These are your dudes.
All right. Are we going to split them? We'll split them.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. We have the Yule Lads. They're Gryla's children. They are from Iceland. They are the sons of Gryla and her third husband, Lepalui. And some say that they're brothers, but there's differences of opinion on that, whether they are brothers or not. They started as evil and nasty, but over time, they've begun to soften. But they're always mischievous. So if they aren't evil and nasty, then they're kind of little pranksters. Their appearance over time has also shifted, so they appear to be more human-like and jolly. And who does that remind us of?
Santa Claus.
Right. So at one time, there was 82 of them. That blows my mind. But over time, they've been combined, and now there's 13. Sometimes they're even reported to only be 9 of them. There is a song, too, that speaks of 2 Yule ladies. Now, they just steal fat. They hide it in their nose or in their socks, which I don't know why they're sticking fat in their nose. And they've also taken the role of multiple Santas, and they'll leave treats for good children, and they leave rotten potatoes for the naughty children. So there is a Yule Lad for every night, 13 nights before Christmas. Do you want to start, Jody?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Okay, let's start with December 12th. Please forgive me for the pronunciations. Stekuster. Steals milk from sheep, has a peg leg, and is very loud.
I just think about, like, you just hear his peg leg coming around. Yeah. And even if it's not him, you would still think it was, and it would scare you.
Could you imagine the people that were peddling this to their kids?
I know. Maybe they'd go outside with like a little thing and like bang it like it was his little peg leg.
On the front porch or something like that.
These guys crack me up. And they're just little prankster tricksters, and they're so mischievous, and I just love every single one of them.
Every one of them's a trickster?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah. So December 13th, we get Gilligar. Hope I pronounced that right. Gilliguk, he's also known as. He loves milk from cows once they've been milked.
Oh, so he's not going right from the teat.
No, he wants you to milk the cow, and then he will come and drink it.
He's making you do all the work.
Yep.
So then on December 14th, we have Stuffer. He's stubby and short and likes to eat leftover crusts on cooking pans.
They're very specific. And
it is very weirdly specific.
So cute. So
could you imagine this would be the guy that's like, he's going to like the pizza shop and he's digging through the dumpster out back, pulling all the old uneaten pizza crusts?
Yeah.
Doesn't really specify, right? It's just leftover crusts and bread and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then we have December 15th. We have Poveruslaker.
Good enough.
So he is spoon licker. He steals your spoons to lick the food off of them. He is pretty emaciated because there's never enough food stuck to the spoons that he eats, which kind of makes me a little sad.
Oh my God.
I know, I want to leave a bunch of spoons out for him.
The spoon licker. Like you could almost hear that a little bit in the name.
You really could, yeah.
So December 16th, we have Pogaskafil. I don't think I said that right. He's the pot scraper. He scrapes leftover food from pots. So we have a spoon licker and we have a pot scraper. These are so weird.
Yeah. Now he gets a little more than his brother. And I also wonder, like, okay, so we get Sheepcoat Claude who comes on the 12th. Does he come every day after too? Or does he only come on the 12th?
Once they show up, they're there for the whole
Right. Like,
time,
are they there until Christmas? Or do they only come for one night like Krampus or Gryla? And then we have December 17th. Skalaker.
Say it again.
A Skalaker? He's the bowl licker. I'm so glad I got him. So he sneaks out to lick bowls clean of leftover food. And he will even eat them if they were left for cats or dogs. He hides under like beds or anything to be able to snatch the bowls if they've been left out for your pets. So he's kind of a little bit naughty and mean, stealing pets' foods. Sad. I would just like leave things out for these guys if I lived in Iceland.
Ooh, I'm glad I got this one. December 18th. Mm-hmm. Herdaskaler. The door slammer. So he likes to sneak around and slam doors to wake people up at night. Sounds a little poltergeisty.
Yeah.
If you ask me. So he's a Christmas ghost. That's what we're going to call him. Herdaskaler, the Christmas ghost. I like that.
December 19th. We have Skurgamer. He also has a nickname, Skurgobler. He loves Skur, which is an Icelandic cheese yogurt.
Hey, I know what that is.
Yeah, you do?
I saw it at the grocery store.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the Viking yogurt. I got to try that.
Oh, neat. Yeah. Don't bring too much home or he might sneak in on December 19th and steal it. And he will steal it if he has to.
So who we got left here? Let's see. December 20th. Boy, this name. I really wish you folks could see the names the way they're spelled. Gabrielle did such a good job here at researching the phonetics of this, we hope.
I tried.
Bjugnakraiker. He is the sausage swiper. The stealer of the sausage. He likes to take the sausages hanging from ceilings that people would be basically smoking or they'd be leaving out to dry. He will even hide in the rafters to steal them. So I just picture all these sausages hanging in like a barn, like some guy doing all this work to prepare all this food, right? And in the background, you just see little sausages being pulled up.
Yeah.
Honestly, how did I get the sausage swiper? He's like one of my favorites.
It's so cute.
He likes his salted meats. It's high in nitrates. You better watch that.
Yeah, he better be careful. December 21st, we have Glukagire. He is the window peeper. He likes to look through windows to see what's going on and what he can steal.
Well, at least he's just looking for stuff to steal.
Yeah.
He's not looking to see what's going on with the people, you know?
Yeah, true.
Traditional folklore. Yeah, close your windows at night, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep, what's his name? The window peeper out?
Yeah. Glukagire.
Oh my God, I can't believe I got this one. Luck of the draw. I think I've said that with all of mine so far. Anyway, December 22nd, we have Gothpaver. And what does he do, Gabrielle?
He's a doorway sniffer.
So he uses his large nose. Again, probably some kind of, Norse troll or something like that, right? And what does he do with that? He uses this giant sniffer to seek out leaf bread, Laffenbraud, traditional Icelandic holiday pastries from far away. Again, weirdly specific.
Yeah.
He's the doorway sniffer.
They're very specific. I love it.
So is he just going around from door to door in the house, trying to figure out where the Laffenbraud is?
I would
that's what it
imagine
seems like.
that he just stands in the doorway and sees if he could smell it.
Yeah.
Like from maybe your main door, from because it says he can smell it from far away. So I'm wondering if he just stands in your door and sees if he could smell it and then he takes it.
And then what? Is he sneaking it?
Probably sneaks it and then eats it.
That is wild. The doorway sniffer. I love it.
December 23rd, we get Let Krauker. He has a meat hook that he carries around to grab cuts of meat.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Raw meat, I guess? What is going on here?
Yeah. I'm thinking
He's hanging around with the butchers?
yeah, does he hang out at the butchers? Is he hanging out at your house? If you're leaving out your meat at night?
Well, don't forget.
If you didn't finish your meat, is he coming to take it?
Don't forget, they would dry age and smoke meat.
Right.
To keep it, or salt it, something like that to keep it. So
my thought is a few of these, right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure are coming as reminders for children to clean your plates.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So they don't come and take them while you're sleeping at night.
Well, I guess I get December 24th then.
Yeah.
Here's another fun name. Sneaker. He's the candle stealer. He likes to sneak up on children and steal their candles after they go to bed. They were once made of animal fat, so for this reason, he likes to eat them.
Yeah. And who do we have next?
Oh boy.
One of my favorites, the Yule Cat. The Yule Cat is known as Jólakaturinn. I think that's how you pronounce it. He is, again, the pet of Gryla and the Yule Lads. He is also from Iceland, and he might seem like a sweet little kitty cat, and you just want to cuddle with him, but don't be misled. He's not a house cat. Think of Clifford. He is a giant cat. He lies in the dark to wait for children, which makes me crack up because he's giant. So where is he hiding? He also makes me think of our cat. We have a black cat who hides in the shadows all the time.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She absolutely 1000% knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She knows we can't see her, and she finds every shadow. It's horrifying when you're walking down the hallway, and then you see her eyes light up.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all you see. You see eyes in the hallway.
Yeah.
And she's off in the corner, hidden in the shadow.
So I love the Yule Cat. I love his little legend and his story. So children who do their chores, they will get new clothes for Christmas. It's just starting to get cold. Mm-hmm. So you're going to need to get some warmer clothes, some winter clothes. So children who are good get new clothing for Christmas. So he's coming to check that you were expected to wear the clothing that you got on Christmas night. So he's peering into your windows. And if you're good and you're in your new clothes, you're okay. If you're bad or you didn't do your chores and have at least one new item of clothing, then he will eat your dinner and then he will drag you out of your house and he will eat you.
So the dinner's like a warning shot? Like, hey,
the dinner
this is going to be you if you don't behave.
The dinner's like his appetizer.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you're his meal. So he dates back to the 19th century and possibly even longer. The goddess Freya used to ride a chariot that was driven by cats. Mm-hmm. So he could have grown from something similar to Freya, another goddess, a god who also was associated with cats. And I just also want to note that in the 1800s, a law was passed that parents could not use Gryla, her children the Yule Lads, or their cat the Yule Cat to keep their children in line. But who knows how this was enforced at the time, or if it was even enforced.
That's actually really surprising in the 1800s that they were.
Yeah, but now it goes back to what you were saying, right? These were all developed as ways for people to control their children.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
Christmas is a good way to control children too,
Yeah.
you know.
Next we have La Befana. This is one of Jody's favorites.
La Befana is the Italian Christmas witch. She's associated with the Feast of the Epiphany on January 5th. This celebration commemorates the arrival of the Magi who worship Jesus. It's celebrated on January 6th and marks the end of the Christmas season. Which is interesting because the Italians tend to like to drag out that Christmas season a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I grew up in an Italian family and we celebrated from like all the way from Christmas to after the New Year. It was just one big long holiday for us.
Yeah.
The name Befana is thought to be a corruption of Epifania, Italian for Epiphany. She looks like the old hag archetype, wearing the black hood, rides a broom, has soot on her face. You aren't supposed to see her. If you do, she will thump you on the head or on the shoulders with her broom. She flies on a broom down the chimney, bringing toys and candy to the good children, while the misbehaved children get coal or cinders. So who does that sound like?
Right.
Again, we have another Santa Claus figure here, right? Misbehaved children may also get garlic or onions, which I think is fantastic. It's Italian. Italian cuisine is all garlic and onions. What?
Yeah.
Are the kids going to be afraid of that?
Right.
Kids don't eat that stuff? Like, that's just funny to me, you know
and
what I
the
mean?
parents need that anyway to make the meal. So
That's a really good point. So the kids get it and they're like, what the heck am I going to, this isn't
right,
candy.
the parents
This
are
isn't,
like, oh good.
and I think
need
it's
this.
fruit. Fruit, I think was what she left, right? So yeah, like they get onions and garlic and it's like, what am I going to do with this? And like you said, the parents are just like, oh shucks, that's a shame. Or however you say that in Italian.
Yeah.
And they take it and they use it for dinner. So it works. Plus you probably have garlic and onions laying around if you're Italian anyway, right? If some wine or bites of food are left, she may sweep up before she leaves. The legend has pagan roots, as it is tied to the end of winter and the hope for a new agricultural year. One legend states that 3 wise men, or the Magi, stopped to ask a woman named Befana for directions. She gave them shelter, but denied their invitation to join. This is something she came to regret. Now she gifts all the children, since she was never able to gift the baby Jesus. Another tale said she had a baby of her own, and then her baby tragically passed. Overcome with grief, she learned of Jesus' birth, and believing he was hers, she went to find him and gifted him. She now is the mother of all Italian children. Yet another tale says she turned away the Magi due to being busy with her chores. She felt guilty and goes after them. She brought gifts and a broom for Mary. She was never able to find the baby Jesus and Mary, and now she wanders the world searching for them. She leaves gifts at every home, hoping to one day complete her quest.
I think she's so cute.
Well, it's funny. I know quite a few Italian people growing up on West Side. The Italian restaurant that I used to work for like 8 years, they still carry on this tradition. The witch shows up at the house. You know, the good kids get fruit and nuts and stuff like that, right? That's what she leaves, right? And then the bad kids would get chased with the broom.
That is so cool.
And they sometimes post it on Facebook too for the young, because the younger kids love it. They're terrified and they love it at the same time. It's a really, really cool tradition.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So she is actually associated with Saturnalia, which comes from ancient Rome and honors Saturn. The ancient Romans, they celebrated a midwinter festival known as Saturnalia, typically celebrated from the 17th to the 23rd of December. You begin with a ceremony to honor the ancient god. Then the celebrants have a banquet that's open to all. They are eating, they're drinking, there's drunkenness. It was kind of really just very like debaucherous and lavish. Fights would often break out. Drunkenness was expected to have a good time. So you weren't having a good time if you weren't drunk. Many of the typical rules were being overturned during this period. You were able to gamble. You could be drunk. Your clothing could be very lax. Their slaves could wear freedmen hats, which were actually only allowed for freedmen at the time. And they were also allowed to join the feasting. they also didn't have to follow like the typical rules that were expected of them. And the week was typically made for like role reversal and overturning the norms. So it was really just kind of like a good time for everyone. All people were exchanging gifts. Some of them were serious, and some of them were more like jokey gag gifts like we have today. And this actually continued until the Middle Ages. There was also what was called the Lord of Misrule that was often appointed as the MC for the festivities. And it was just really a way for people to blow off steam, right? Kind of like we do now, right? It was just chaos for Christmas. And it was another way that they were able to get through the dark days of the winter that they had ahead. Some believe that La Befana was actually influenced by these beliefs as they blended with the Christian practices. So they were honoring various deities. One of them was Strenia. She was a goddess of prosperity and new beginnings and associated with gift giving and the new year. And it's thought that La Befana may have kind of been an extension of their goddess Strenia.
Mm-hmm. It all kind of relates.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting that, you know, you're seeing a lot of these legends that are coming from something that is much deeper, pre-Christian, and even possibly pagan. And it's being like distorted in a way that is now fitting their narrative of what they're believing and what they're celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it too, right? Drunkenness, overturning rules, overturning the norms. I mean, we kind of still celebrate in that same way Christmas today.
We still celebrate that way for New Year's.
Right, right.
So kick off the new year with, get it out of the way in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then behave the rest of the time throughout the year, right?
Yeah, and I also think of like Christmas is a way that we get through the winter months, the harsh winter, by celebrating Christmas and the New Year.
So moving on, we have Mary Lloyd.
Maddie Lloyd. It's Welsh. It's hard to pronounce.
It is hard to pronounce. Maddie Lloyd.
Welsh is very hard.
You're Welsh though, so you know some of this stuff.
Yeah, and I started to try to learn Welsh.
And it's nothing like English.
On, what is it called? The little app with the owl. Why can't I think of the name?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I tried to learn it. It's tough.
Yeah, a lot of the words, like you're trying to pronunciate them like you would in English, but the syllables don't match up.
Yeah.
So anyway, the name comes from what they believe is the gray-colored mare. Some light-colored horses in Celtic mythology have the ability to cross between the worlds of the living and the dead. It could have come from the Grey Mary, a pregnant mare let out of the manger to make room for Mary and Joseph. They had to find a new place to give birth. This was first recorded around 1800, but could have been around longer, dating back to the 16th century. A Welsh tradition that recently gained new popularity, mare skulls draped in white cloth on a pole, carried by one person. The person controls it and can make it snap at passers-by. Decorated with ribbons of festive colors, lights, ornaments, or balls placed in the eye sockets.
It's considered to be a mumming, caroling, or wassailing tradition.
The skull goes from house to house, starting at sunset. It is usually accompanied by other figures, like jesters and punching Judy. They will knock at the door and ask to be let in. Then they will sing songs.
And the homeowner's not supposed to let them in. They're supposed to respond with a song of their own.
Oh, they want to be let in.
Yeah, but the homeowner isn't supposed to let them. It's supposed to be like a song battle back and forth. And if the homeowner is defeated, then they provide drink, food, and snacks. But that's typically something that you want because letting Maddie Lloyd in will ensure good fortune for the upcoming year. So once she is inside, she'll snap at the children, and this could be scary or delightful depending kind of on how things go with the singing back and forth that they have at the door. And then once inside, it's kind of, you almost want to lose so that she can come in and bless your home for the year, basically.
Oh, okay.
But it's like you have to put up like this defensive guard and kind of go with the tradition, but you ultimately want to lose and let her in your home.
It's like playing a game with a child.
Yeah, it's like a game. It's a game. Basically, probably for the children. Do you want to take Hans Trap?
No, I think you got this.
Hans Trap is from Alsace, Lorraine, France. He appears like a demonized version of Santa. He's not the only one we've seen here. He brings punishment, pain, and even death. He is thought to be based on a German knight named Hans van Troffa. He was seen in the second half of the 15th century. The knight had a falling out with some monks and the church, leading to his excommunication. At the end of his life, he reconciled. He had his excommunication overturned. The legend, however, portrays him as evil. He delighted in his horrible deeds, and some claim that he even made a pact with the devil. They say he lost his mind due to his evil deeds, and he was always searching for children to kill and consume. He has a hunger for human flesh. He wore rags that would be stuffed with straw that made him look like a scarecrow. And he would use this to capture unwary travelers, so they would be kind of unsuspecting, thinking he was a scarecrow. But then once they began to stray into the woods, especially the children, it is said that he would capture them. There is also a belief that God punished him while he was roasting a child by striking him with lightning and splitting open his skull. He was able to redeem himself, and he began to accompany St. Nicholas, he's another one of those, who accompanies St. Nicholas on his excursions, and he punishes children according to their year's deeds. Some say he has not repented, and he's still on the lookout for children that he wants to devour. The children will sing songs to him, tell them how they are good, and why he should not eat them.
That's really dark.
Yeah.
That's a first for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not up on the French Christmas folklore, like at all, which is great because I got the next one. Père Fouettard. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Who originates in eastern France, Belgium, Switzerland, and again, another helper of St. Nicholas. The name means father whipper, or old man whipper. He accompanies the saint on December 6th. So we got a good description for this one. He wears a dark robe, his hair's wild, he has a long beard and a dark hat. Who does that sound like?
Right?
Belsnickel, right? Carries a whip or a bundle of switches. Again, Belsnickel and Krampus. A lot of similarities there. He often has a sack to carry off, especially bad children. So I find this fascinating that everybody in Europe, every part of Europe has their own sort of, it's the same folklore, just a different name.
Right.
It is said that he may carry a basket to hold additional switches. It is also said he carries a legrolo, the bells, to warn children that he is on his way. He's basically the anti-Santa. Mm-hmm. I can get that. Black beard, black hat. He dispenses lumps of coal and or beatings to naughty children. If the children are lucky, they get a lump of coal. But since he also dispenses beatings and sometimes eviscerations, which is disembowelment, these kids better learn to behave.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, could you imagine telling a kid that, hey, this guy's going to come by, he's going to gut you?
Imagine thinking Santa's going to come down your chimney and either give you a gift or disembowel you.
Or disembowel you, yeah. It's crazy. If he carries a whip, it is usually a marionette. It's a whip with a wooden handle and several leather lashes. These were used until the 1970s to discipline children both in school and at home. That's wild. That's not a paddle. That's literally a whip.
Yeah.
According to tradition, he was once an innkeeper who was a murderer and possible cannibal. He was said to have captured 3 boys on their way to religious school. He robbed and killed them. In some versions, he and his wife cut up the bodies and put them in a barrel.
Intersecting with St. Nicholas and...
the butcher.
Yeah.
In the medieval French version, Père Fouettard repents his evil ways, and St. Nicholas commands him to join the saint on his journey to atone for his sins. Another origin, in 1552, at the Siege of Metz, the Roman Empire, Charles V, tried to take the city, but they hold out and Charles suffers a humiliating defeat. An effigy of Charles is burned, and local tanners create a grotesque version of the image, which became Père Fouettard. 1930s, we see an American version, known by the name of Father Flog or Spanky. He may have been seen with Mother Flog. Father Flog was not really associated with Christmas and was possibly just an invention to keep misbehaving children in line.
I want to ask our grandmothers and my grandfather if they've ever heard of them, because they would have been children at that time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So did that American legend make it here to Pennsylvania? And I also want to know if my grandma ever heard of Belsnickel.
I'm sure she's heard of Belsnickel.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, though, because she's not German, right?
She did have German family.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think more like German people that are like, brought up German.
Yeah.
Like P.A. Dutch would be into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure she's heard of it.
Probably.
So you're going to be the weirdo at Christmas that's going to be asking these questions?
I am the weirdo all the time at holidays that asks the weird questions.
Have you ever heard of Father Flog? No? How about Spanky? Do you know Spanky? I bet you she knows what Spanky is. I will
probably
guarantee
knows
it.
one of the two.
I'll guarantee it.
And maybe I'll even bring up, like, maybe she'll be able to tell us some cool stories from when she was a kid,
Like chewing tar like bubblegum and...
Oh, gosh. If I could go back in time, I would be her friend when she was a kid.
She's crazy.
So next up, I have Ded Moroz. He is Russian. He predates Christianity in the Slavic tradition. He's accompanied typically by his granddaughter, Snegurochka, the Snow Maiden, who helps him with his duties. I love that he brings her along. His name means Grandfather Frost or Old Man Frost.
Oh.
He appears to be slender. He has a long white beard. He wears a long robe of various colors, mittens, boots, and a tall fur hat. He's powerful. He's fearsome. He's a winter spirit. He walks with a long magic stick, and he rides a troika, which is a 3-horsed cart. He is now considered to be benevolent and a gift giver, and he brings well-mannered children gifts on New Year's Eve.
He's basically like Russian Jack Frost.
He's like Santa.
That's what it seems. I'm going with the whole Father Frost or Old Man Frost. And of course we have Santa Claus. Santa is based on St. Nicholas of Myra, a kind-hearted bishop in Turkey who lives in the 4th century. He was known for his generosity to the poor and the sick. The Santa we know and love today, jolly with a red suit, has evolved over centuries and through traditions. The most well-known example of an 1822 poem by Clement Clark Moore, A Visit from St. Nicholas. You probably know it as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. In the 1860s, Thomas Nast's illustration gave him the look we recognize today. There are mentions of Santa as a dark-like figure dating back to pre-Christianity in Germany and various Northern European religions. Christmas probably became a way to swap out festivals like Saturnalia. The long-haired gray horses, reindeer here in America, both fly. We've seen him compared to Odin, but those are just superficial similarities. Why not explore Thor and his sled pulled by 2 goats?
Mm-hmm.
Is Santa a wild man? Short answer?
Yes.
Comparable to the Green Man and the leader of the Wild Hunt. A figure who began as a wild man was transformed into Father Christmas, a personification of Christmas spirit and good cheer, and in the 19th century became Santa. Where we still see wild man ceremonies, there are bear-like figures known as Klaus, who are quite jolly and quite familiar. So I'm guessing that's where the Santa Claus name came from.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's really interesting to look at where he came from and kind of what shapes him. Like, he's based on St. Nicholas, and then over time, he's kind of evolved, and through like losing different like winter festivals, they've kind of merged things together to make Santa. It's so interesting. Like, Thor has a sled that's pulled by goats. Odin rode a gray horse that could fly, and it's like they just took that, put it together, and Santa has a sleigh pulled by a flying reindeer.
That's cool. So why would we consider him a wild man?
Because that's kind of where his origins lie.
He was kind of like a loner.
Being like a wild man. But I also love, like, I never knew that the poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, is where we got what we think of as Santa today. I never knew that.
I believe in the book there is a description.
There is. It describes what we know today as Santa.
I'm not sure if it's every version of the book, but I know I've seen versions of the book that actually have the description of Santa and his basically the origin of what he looks like.
Yeah. And then, like, 40 years later, someone comes up with illustrations for this poem, and that's Santa.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
that
what
makes
we
sense.
see now.
Put a picture to the words. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
I promise we're getting to the end. Next, we have Kali Lanzari from Greece, North Macedonia, Serbia, Bosnia, Albania, Turkey, and Herzegovina, considered to be malevolent. It's a creature that emerged at the end of the 12 days of Christmas and will remain until January 6th and absolutely wreaks havoc. They typically reside underground. They spend their time trying to cut down the world tree. So this is a tree that is considered to support the earth. Then by the time Christmas comes, they're forced to surface. And for protection, you can leave a colander on your doorstep and they'll have to count the holes, but they can't count past 2. And that's because 3 is a holy number. So if they speak it, it will destroy them. So then they're stuck there until morning counting like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But that's all they can do. You have to keep your fire burning, and this prevents them from entering through your chimney. Who else comes through your chimney? You can also throw smelly items into your fire to keep them away. And it's also said that if you mark your doors with a black cross, that can keep them away as well. It's also said holy water will keep them away.
So they're demons. That's basically what they are.
Yeah, they're a little bit more mischievous than evil. Like, they aren't so much like evil that you might say demon. Think more like maybe like Krampus coming in your house.
But they're not good.
You know, right. They're not like good. Right. Their history is actually traced back to Saturnalia. And they want to saw the tree down and destroy humanity, the world tree. So that is their purpose. They exist to do that. After the Epiphany, priests actually, they come to the home with holy water and they kind of bless everyone's home. And this is said to drive them away. So then they return home. They see the tree has grown back and then they have to start trying to cut it down again. And then by Christmas time, they're driven back to the surface where they kind of come and wreak their havoc. And then the priests come with the holy water and they're driven back underground. And it's kind of a never-ending cycle for them.
Here we go.
Jack Frost.
So Jack Frost is a European folklore character. He is the personification of winter, associated with cold weather, frost, and snow. He appears in folklore as a mischievous sprite and has a Norse connection to the Jökull Frosti, icicle frost. Jökull Frosti is the son of the wind. He is responsible for painting fern-like patterns on windows and nips at your fingers and toes on cold days. Some say he is a powerful figure who can control all the forces of winter. I like that description of the fern-like patterns on the windows. They're basically describing frosted windows.
Right.
And we've seen that, I don't know how much media. When Jack Frost arrives, everything gets a cold chill, right?
Yeah. So they're kind of pulling from like that origin.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Next we have Knet Ruprecht. He's from Germany and the Alps. First mentioned in the 17th century. He's benign, resembles Nicholas. He has a dark robe, a pointy hood, has fur trim sometimes, got a bushy beard. He carries a large sack. Think of like a rustic Santa. But he also carries a switch. So this is like Santa and Belsnickel in one. Some versions he has a staff. There's bells on his robe, so he jingles, which we also heard in one of the legends where the jingle would kind of let the bad kids know that the person was coming. So they all kind of tie in and have like very similar stories to them, right? He's always alone with St. Nicholas, so there's only one of him. You will never get multiple Knet Ruprechts. He has some controversy surrounding him because he does smear ashes on his face. And it's considered to resemble blackface. So he might swat children with a bag of ashes instead of a switch. And he will then give the switch to the children's parents who administer the punishment. And this is where you're seeing the blackface coming from. He's hitting the kids with the ashes. Those ashes are getting on his face. You know, by the end of the night, he's got a blackened face. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to try to defend blackface. And then he may actually have a darker origin, and he could even be a variation of Krampus. He could also be a satyr or a dwarf in mythology. He comes from a pre-Christian society, and he could even potentially be a house spirit as well.
How do they even come with that? Satyr or a dwarf? One is basically like a goat person, and the other's a little person. You know what I mean? Moving on, we have Stragila. Stragila is from Austria and Germany. It's basically a German version of the witch. Oh, I should have known that because isn't there Straga?
Yeah.
You know where that comes from?
Straga.
In East European, yeah. Hideous and repulsive to look at, evil, and goes on Ember Night, the Wednesday before Christmas, and is obsessed with finding out if children and young women have finished their spinning. If they haven't finished their spinning, she is happy to snatch up misbehaving children and gobble them up. Make sure you finish your chores. Her concern is only order in the home. She can also be kind and generous, especially when the children have done all their work. So here we go again.
Yeah.
With this duality of this entity, this folklore character, either rewarding or punishing.
Yeah.
And again, of course, Austria and Germany. They have Germany has like 3 of these guys already at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that we've talked about anyway.
Yeah. It's kind of really similar in the things that you see across different areas, you know?
Yeah.
Next, we have Lucy. She's Scandinavian. She's considered to be a variation of Saint Lucia, who's celebrated on December 13th. Lucia was a saint. She died in the early 4th century. Legend states she was a martyr for refusing to renounce her Christian faith. When the Romans tried to burn her, she couldn't be killed, so they stabbed her to death. In Scandinavia, she became a saint. She wears a wreath in her hair that holds candles. This keeps her hands free while she brings food to Christians that are hiding in caves in Scandinavia. She's one of the few Catholic saints that are still honored in these Protestant countries. In Norse mythology, the sun is a goddess known as Sol or Sunna. She is chased by a wolf who tries to devour her light. The idea of a feminine divine figure as a light bringer is pretty much as old as time. But Lucia, she also has an evil side, and some believe it may be confusion between Lucifer and Lucy. Also celebrated December 13th, Lucinata or Lucy Night. She's an evil witch or evil sorceress who may have accompanied the wild hunt. The spirits who follow her are known as Luciferata, another play possibly on Lucifer. She searches for mortals to snatch up to join the wild hunt, and they're never seen again. Spirits, trolls, and bad elves will also leave to go with her on this night, and all must take care to not be out during the night on December 13th. Naughty children are especially susceptible. And it's not enough to just hide inside, because if children are especially bad, she can come down your chimney. As I was doing this, I was like, oh, I really like this person. I really like that person. But then I was like, nope, it's Lucy for me. So her and her minions, they can invade your dreams, and they can steal you from your dreams as well. So it's best to stay up until dawn and avoid chimneys to ensure your safety. She knows if adults have not finished their chores, and if they haven't, she will press her face to the window and scream at you, or attack your house and try to tear down your chimney to get in. Lucy Vodka, or Lucy Wake, is staying up all night to avoid her wrath. And it's actually turned into an all-night celebration that people practice to avoid her coming to steal them away.
I was just thinking with all these European pronunciations, this is going to be really fun to do the transcript in.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I also feel like some of them, because we don't really know how to pronounce, like we're pronouncing them slower, which makes it not the correct word.
Yeah, it makes me sound like an idiot.
Like when you're saying like Straghila.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure if you pronounce that faster.
Straghila.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's a different word. Yeah. So I think that also kind of is not in our favor. So please, we apologize.
We're doing the best we could.
We are.
So then we have Lutin, also French. I'm getting all the French ones.
Mm-hmm.
Lutin is a mischievous household hobgoblin or imp-like fairy. He's known for helping or causing pranks, tangling horsehair, and hiding objects. They can shapeshift or become invisible. They can also shift into the form of a horse, les cheval bayard. Think of them like Christmas elves. I'm going to be honest, the first ones I thought about being Christmas elves were with the Yule Lads. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Next we have Zwarte Piet. He's from Belgium and the Netherlands. He is known as Black Pete. He's one of St. Nicholas's helpers as well, typically seen as a Moor, someone of North African or Sub-Saharan African descent, and he joined the saint to dispense punishment to children that are deserving of it. He typically uses a birch rod to whip the children, and he has become quite problematic as he's typically a white actor who will portray Pete using makeup to darken their skin. They also wear curly wigs and lipstick. And this has led to accusations of racism and colonial imagery. There's been a big push to remove him from parades, and he is a pretty problematic figure that has colonial origins. It's suggesting that non-Europeans were savages who had to be tamed by Europe and the US. Some even argue that the black face is part of tradition and its medieval origins, where you blacken your face to hide yourself from evil spirits. Some festivals now will use Zwarte Piet, and they might also substitute a new character whose face is blackened by soot. So they've kind of tried to find ways to make it more acceptable, yeah, and appropriate.
On to the Wild Hunt.
I love the Wild Hunt.
I'm actually pretty excited that I got this one. So the Wild Hunt is portrayed differently depending on the region.
Yeah.
In Scandinavia, Odin leads the Wild Hunt, or Woden. In Germany, they're referred to as the Perkta. In France, Hellequin, or the Earl King.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen Apnud, Lord of the Dead and his hounds.
That's Wales.
England, Odin or son of legends, suggests Herne, the hunter, or even King Arthur. That's a neat comparison.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Jacob Grimm hypothesized that tales may be pre-Christian and were processions from the gods who came to bestow gifts and blessings. Once Christianity was popular, this became demonic and something to be feared, full of evil things. A vast spectral army riding through the night at certain times of the year. If you observe, you are at risk of being swept away and becoming part of the hunt. You will ride forever with the hunt. England, 1127, there was an event in Peterborough. Several people saw ominous riders one night. Many saw hunters and huntsmen. They rode on black horses and bucks. Seen all the way to Stanford, these figures became a bad omen. Do your holiday shopping during the day, or you may be the victim of this terrible fate. I just love the Wild Hunt. One of my favorite video games is The Witcher.
Okay.
Specifically The Witcher 3. I didn't play the first two games, but there's references throughout for the Wild Hunt. In their version of the Wild Hunt, it's Eastern European.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically, spoiler alert, the games have been out since 2015. They're basically dark elves.
Okay.
And that's where one of the main characters, Ciri, is believed to be descended from those elves. I say dark elves because that's what they refer to them. Mm-hmm. Basically, in the game, they're elves from another realm.
Okay.
But they're portrayed exactly the same way. Black riders, black armor, black horses. They all look like hunters. And they ride together, and they appear to be searching for, whatever their target is.
Oh, wow.
So,
do they make an appearance in the show, The Witcher?
I'm not sure if they
like I saw some of that.
Yeah, I feel like the last season would have been, season 2 or 3?
Yeah.
2?
I think.
Yeah, I believe we saw some of that. I believe the hunt was out
at
that point, yeah. And they're looking for Ciri.
Yeah, and they almost pop in, they ride, and they pop out, I feel like is how they were portrayed.
I can't remember how they did it, but I mean, it's similar to the game, right? Or the books.
Yeah.
They were books before it was the game, but yeah. They followed it, if I recall, they followed it pretty well.
And another thing here, I'm going to get really deep with this. I'm going to go so deep. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays on this one. So again, it says when Christianity became popular, they started to demonize this and make people fearful of it and consider it to be evil, which is something that we see so much, right? Things that are very celebrated and popular, like not just pre-Christian, but if you look at even biases that people have.
Well, it's not even that it was popular. It was their way of life. These stories followed them because they believed in this. This was folklore. This was the story of a people.
Right. It was part of their culture.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Christianity adapted a lot of it.
But changed it to fit their narrative.
Exactly.
So now I think of the Wild Hunt as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Ooh, that's a really good comparison. There were many more than 4 of them, but it's still a good comparison.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think too, you even see it with the biases that we hold, right? They're all things that you've been taught since you're young. So whether you believe them or not, they're still ingrained in you, and you still have that unconscious belief that they're evil. You might not believe that they're evil, but still unconsciously within yourself, you still might have that reaction. So I just think that's really interesting that they kind of come along and change things once, it doesn't fit their narrative anymore. But next, we have the Yule log. So it comes from the Old English, Yule, which shares a history with the Norse Yule, and this came long before the traditions that we know. People were gathering around fires on the darkest nights of the year to celebrate Yule. It's a festival of light, warmth, and renewal. It celebrates the reappearance of the sun after the darkest days and the fertile land's rebirth. One of the oldest winter celebrations in the world. Customs and traditions, they do vary widely. There's hearty feasts, revelry, caroling, drinking, and dancing. And when Christianity came to the British Isles, they even adopted some of this celebration into their celebration of the birth of Christ, which is what we see today as Christmas.
So speaking of customs and traditions, let's talk a little bit about caroling.
Yay.
Carols were first sung in Europe thousands of years ago. They were pagan songs sung at winter solstice celebrations while dancing around stone circles. Carols were once written and sung for all 4 seasons. The tradition of singing them at Christmas is the only one that has survived. Christmas hymns can be traced back to the 4th century Rome and were in Latin. St. Francis of Assisi encouraged them to be written in native languages. When the Puritans came to power in 1647 in England, carols were outlawed as pagan practice. They survived by being sung in secret. It wasn't until Victorian times, when Christmas became a holiday, that the carols became popular again. Caroling house to house has roots in medieval times. Waits would go house to house. They were musicians that only sang at Christmas. Dickens referenced them in an 1854 short story, The 7 Poor Travelers.
I bet you didn't know about the history of caroling.
I did not.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
I know the Christian traditions of caroling.
Yeah.
You know, you go house to house and you would sing to basically lift everybody's spirits during Christmas time. I had no idea they were sung for all 4 seasons. And then it was a pagan tradition.
When else do you go house to house and sing songs? Halloween, you trick or treat. As a kid, you would sing a song, right? That's what it made me think of.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so like all 4 seasons,
that's
like you would trick or treat.
Trick or treating was probably rooted in
I'm sure there's something
seasonal
there.
caroling, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
I get my favorite thing in the world, the original Nutcracker.
You would have got this anyway. I would have given it to you.
I'll give you the last one, right? You worked hard. You deserve it. So the original Nutcracker. I love nutcrackers and I collect them. I have since I was a little kid. My grandfather started it for me. So something I haven't discussed yet. Most of what I've researched here is based off a book, The Scary Book of Christmas Lore. 50 Terrifying Yuletide Tales from Around the World by Tim Rayborn. I read the book last year. It's a fantastic read. You learn so much about these Christmas figures. And one of the stories he talks about is the original Nutcracker, which I had never heard before, and I was so excited. It's such an interesting story. So a German ballet, it premiered in 1892. It wasn't much of a success. There's a dancer who played the original Nutcracker that's rumored to have killed himself with a razor to avoid arrest. This story, though, is actually older than the ballet. It's from 1816. It's called The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. The author is Ernst Theodor Wilhelm Hoffmann. And a girl named Marie, she lives in a really restrictive household. She spends a lot of time escaping into her dreams, and her dreams are more like nightmares, right? They're full of this twisted and grotesque imagery. Marie dreams of a nutcracker. He comes to life. There is a battle with the 7-headed Mouse King, and during the battle, Marie falls. She's cut pretty badly on her arm. Now, she comes out of the dream, she tells her family about her dreams, and her family tells her that she needs to stop talking about them. They don't want to entertain this. So she says that she'd rather live in her dream world with the Nutcracker than be with her family. And then Marie gets her wish. So the Nutcracker comes to life. Marie chooses to leave with him and go into the dream world. And this is actually the basis of the first Nutcracker story. So Alexander Dumas, now you might recognize that name. Jody, do you recognize that name? He wrote The Three Musketeers.
Oh, okay.
So he comes and he rewrites the play in 1844, and this makes it more palatable, right? And that's the version that's used for the ballet that we know that's written by Tchaikovsky. So recently now, in recent years, people are now trying to bring in some things from the original play. They're incorporating them back into the performances that we know. Things like the 6 heads for the Mouse King. But nobody's ever incorporated all of the aspects into the play in total. And I personally think this would be a fantastic horror movie for Christmas.
Well, you better get on that then. Get the script going.
Like, it's such a cool story.
Before Bobby Eggies takes it over. You know what's going to happen.
I know. It's so interesting.
And we get you a nutcracker every year for Christmas.
Yeah, I try to.
So you got to get moving on that, huh?
Yeah, I do. Maybe I could find a 6-headed mouse king.
Oh, my God. I doubt that exists, but we did get you, what did we get you, a Krampus?
Krampus.
Yeah, I got you a Krampus one. So anyway, the idea that Gabrielle had for our first ever Christmas episode was all based on storytelling. We thought instead of, just talking about ghost stories at Christmas, that we start with folklore stories from different traditions.
Yeah.
So let's tie this all up with the history of telling ghost stories at Christmas. You all know from England, Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, one of the most famous books. Christmas ghost stories were a staple of early Victorian celebrations. People would gather for spooky ghosts and haunting stories, typically on Christmas Eve. Authors Walter Scott, Elizabeth Gaskell, and Arthur Conan Doyle all submitted stories. All stories had the setting of Christmas time. Then by the early 20th century, it shifted to Halloween and Christmas ghosts went out of fashion. I always find it interesting that ghost stories are told at Christmas.
But it makes sense, right? What were the Victorians obsessed with?
Spirituality.
Death. They were obsessed with death and their mortality and spirituality and the afterlife. So of course they're talking about ghost stories. And of course at this time, because it's the darkest time of the year.
Yeah.
The light, they have the light for the shortest period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm finishing work and I want to go to bed.
Right? Plus it's cold. And I mean, they didn't have the luxuries that we have today. So I'm sure it was a time that they probably seen the most people pass away because it's so cold. Food might be scarce. And I just think it's so interesting to think that so many of these things that we see at Christmas can also be associated with Halloween.
Yeah.
But I think that we need to bring back ghost stories for Christmas. I mean, there's so many out there. Look. This is just 4 authors, plus Dickens makes 5. But, I mean, there's so many more. Dickens had written other Christmas ghost stories. There's a whole bunch of them that you can just look for that are ghost stories that are set at Christmas time. And that's basically what they're doing, is they're telling you a ghost story, but the setting is Christmas. And I love that. And I think we need to do it more. We need to bring it back. And they all have
a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There needs to be like lessons within them.
Yeah.
And it could even be these folk stories of these different figures. I mean, everybody's familiar with Jack Frost, but I'm sure there could even be...
No, I think everybody's familiar with Krampus now, too.
Right. I mean, and if you think about it, too, like, isn't there a horror Jack Frost?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So, I mean, really, you could make it...
Yeah, silly little thing with the Jack Frost as like a snowman or something like that.
Yeah. You could bring it like ghost and haunting. Like we see in A Christmas Carol. But yeah, we will link here to all of the resources that I used for this episode. But again, the main one is The Scary Book of Christmas Lore, 50 Terrifying Yuletide Tales from Around the World. It's a great Christmas read by Tim Rayborn. It's a pretty quick read, too. It's really easy to read. Like every chapter is a different story. So you can read a chapter, as you need, chapter a night with your family. For the 12 days of Christmas, if you want, even.
Yeah, read them to your kids for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. But yeah, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. A nice little special diversion from our usual content, but I hope it was enjoyable.
So, Gabrielle.
Yeah.
How could our listeners get to us?
Podcastoftheparanormal.com.
And we have our contact form on there if you want to contact us and you want to come on the show, tell your story.
We'd love to hear from you.
Use a contact form. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We have links to our podcast pretty much wherever you get podcasts from. You can listen right from the website or your favorite podcast provider.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Podcast of the Paranormal. We're on TikTok, Pod of the Paranormal.
Yep, and all those links are at the footer of our website. Again, it's podcastoftheparanormal.com.
So thanks for listening, everyone, and we hope you have a happy holiday.